We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges with, there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia, there's the big players who are really trying to defend, if you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology, because you're in the lead. So of course, you say you love technology, but obviously you wish you could stop it.
Coming that will change everything. They know once America and the Western world see what's going on, when people really understand, things are going to change. So it's a race. Do we wake up before they put us in a cage, a digital cage? That's really what's happening. So I don't know when, but they need us in a digital cage. And the best way to do it, and the last way to do it, is a total meltdown of the financial system of the West. Because that's when you change everything.
The central bank digital currency, in my mind, will be the key flashpoint when I think it all comes apart.
When you talk about central bank digital currencies, in order to drive people into the CBDCs, the digital wallets centrally controlled by the government or the central bank, they have to create a financial emergency, don't they?
CBDC, central bank digital currency. Yes, the Fed coin is here. Now, they rolled it out on Wednesday. That was the only day they could do it, because they've been denying that any of this stuff was happening, but they could only get it when no one was paying attention. So they rolled it out, and it's in its beta test now. This is a Federal Reserve digital currency.
Okay.
Yeah. So one starts as a digital, the other one has to be transformed digitally. So they've cut that transforming part out, and that's the part where it gets really sketchy. I think maybe we should start having the conversation, because this is coming. Maybe we should start having the conversation of, gosh, this looks like the mark of the beast. Let me tell you about the plan to retire the US dollar. Right now, there is a race going on for digital currency. It's a 3-horse race, and Bitcoin is not in it. It's the US, China, or the IMF, the World Bank. We are looking for what is going to be the world reserve currency? What is going to replace the US dollar? Russia and others are pushing out digital currency, et cetera, but they're a tiny portion of the global currency power, and they're really not relevant, in my opinion. The US Federal Reserve is behind China on the actual digital currency implementation. China already has the digital renminbi. It is renminbi is the people's money in Mandarin. However, even though they've already pushed this out and they're already using it, the U.S. is way ahead when it comes to potential adoption. 70% of international financial transactions right now are settled in U.S. dollars. This is what gives our dollar any kind of value now, whereas only 1.5% of the global transactions are settled in Chinese money. And so the plan is to issue a digital U.S. dollar and then automatically convert U.S. dollars from the old U.S. dollars to digital U.S. dollars, DUSDs, okay? The banks would issue the DUSD at some ratio that the Fed would set. Now, here's why this is so important for you to be ahead of the curve on. The money in your bank account will suddenly become US or DUSDs overnight. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be dollar for dollar. In fact, the Fed is going to be deciding how much loss everybody takes. The Fed will also offer US dollar cash holders, physical cash, but not in the banks, to cash in old USDs for new DUSDs for some time period, 6 months or a year.
When it comes to crypto, it's all about the future. Most people see crypto as a get-rich-quick scheme without necessarily concentrating on its real-life application. And that's the value of this world. With that in mind, today I've got some interesting news on how crypto is going to change the world. So sit tight, don't touch that dial, and let's roll that intro. As always, welcome to Moneyside, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, and you can always leave a comment or question in this section below.
We have seen the loss of trust in the dollar and the euro and the pound as the currencies in which you can carry out transactions, hold deposits or assets. And that is why step by step we are moving away from the use of these unreliable, compromised currencies. And incidentally, even the US's allies are decreasing the assets denominated in dollars steadily. That is what the statistics tells us. The volume of transactions in dollars and the assets, everything is being decreased.
From China's point of view, they want to get, they don't like the U.S. having this reserve currency because it gives us, a lot of leverage over, Iranian oil supply chains and all sorts of things like that. They don't want the renminbi to become a reserve currency because then you have to open your capital account and you have to do all sorts of things that they really don't want to do. I think the euro, you could think of as, was in part a Chinese weapon against the dollar. The last decade hasn't quite worked out that way, but that was, China would have liked to see two reserve currencies like the euro. And, even though I'm sort of a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder whether at this point Bitcoin is also should also be thought in part as a Chinese financial weapon against the U.S., where it threatens fiat money, but it especially threatens the U.S. Dollar, and China wants to do things to weaken it. So it's sort of China is long Bitcoin, and perhaps from a geopolitical perspective, the U.S. should be a little bit be asking some tougher questions about exactly how that works.
So back in the early days of PayPal, and this is going back to 1999, so it's almost 20 years ago. We actually, our first T-shirt said, PayPal, the new world currency. And so there was this idea that we were going to create this new global currency.
Many people don't know this, but the mission of PayPal was to create a global currency that was independent of interference by these corrupt cartels of banks and governments that were debasing their currencies. And we succeeded at building something very economically very powerful. Enabled many small businesses. We're super proud of it, but we never achieved the mission. Then I don't think it is solved by PayPal, precisely for the reason that you brought up in the Venezuela case, where PayPal is simply too centralized and too attached to the big financial institutions, Visa, MasterCard, the ACH network, the SWIFT network, and it will do whatever it needs to do to keep those institutions happy. It doesn't solve the problem. Then I think with its current success and the current management, they're not going to go push the mission of the company forward. That was what we wanted 20 years ago. So somebody else has to do it. Not to mention that it was the wrong crypto foundation, but that's a different story.
And so why didn't you guys foresee this and build something that would solve the problem?
Well, we tried. When we were building the company, initially, Max Levchin, he started working on his thesis in cryptography. As my co-founder at PayPal, he researched Chaumian blind anonymous digital currencies, and then we said that didn't think that was going to quite work. It was too centralized, and it wasn't quite anonymous. Then I think we just never figured out quite the right algorithm, and we were pressured by investors to just get the product out. This is part of the problem of taking investment money prematurely. I wonder what would have happened if Matt's just been able to sit around and brainstorm and work on the idea, and we could all talk about the mission, and maybe we could have figured out an algorithm that was more like the modern crypto algorithms, which I'm so grateful for.
Should 100 billion XRPs will be enough to cover once the XRP serverless scales for global full scale, or would there be a shortage?
Well, since that when XRP was created, and this actually was created before Ripple existed, the creators of XRP decided to be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a small number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
At the start of XRP, it was designed to become a global reserve currency, and that's what we all need to take into account. As much as Bitcoin and PayPal started the journey, their system is not designed to effectively become a global reserve currency. But XRP is. Once the world wakes up to this realization, it will probably be too late to invest in XRP. We now have a unique opportunity to invest in a crypto that will one day change our view of the dollar. So why wouldn't you invest in XRP? Aside from that, Ripple is working hand in hand with most financial institutions to help them embrace blockchain and decentralized system. More importantly, Ripple is also in the advisory committee of most, if not all, central banks of the world. That gives them the unique opportunity to ensure the development of CBDCs, and it happens on RippleNet's framework. In fact, there are already rumors that some countries have already begun testing of their digital currencies on Ripple's network. What more could you ask for to finally invest in this crypto and get a front row seat to becoming the next crypto millionaire? Granted, we can't really predict the future, but if we can use the current data to speculate what the future can be or could be, the XRP ledger was the first blockchain network to support tokenization of assets, which has now become the hot new feature in crypto. XRP is also the first crypto to support cross-border payment systems. That includes fiat and also offers on-demand liquidity through the parent company Ripple. Ripple is also one of the few crypto companies that works with fiat companies instead of making an enemy out of them. We all know the first few cryptos were designed to completely eliminate fiat currencies, which didn't turn out to be the case. Ripple is taking a different route, which could potentially secure the future of crypto if we finally find the perfect way for these two worlds to exist in perfect harmony. Truly, XRP is the bridge currency that we've all been waiting for. And with recent events, XRP might be the first crypto to get complete regulatory clarity. Now, if that doesn't get you to invest in this crypto, I don't know what will. So keep on holding your XRPs as we wait for the next bullish trend. Always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All the videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's start a conversation. Thanks as always for watching. Couldn't be here without you. Don't forget to like this video and please click on that subscribe button. And be sure to turn on notifications, that way you get posted when we put up new content. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Money Side.